John Span from JS Designs, coming back with another video about the common misconception of enclosures. The most common misconception of enclosures is it doesn't matter. As you see right here, I have 3 different enclosures. You have a sealed, you have a prefab and vented, and you have a custom vented. The sealed enclosure right here, most common thing is people were wanting to get frequencies out of this. With a sealed enclosure, you can get all kinds of frequencies. Just the most things you have to realize is you have to put more power to it because it's sharing airspace. So sometimes it might have an internal brace in the middle where you have separate chambers. Well, anyway, you don't have much for that sub to move. It's only pushing the air from the inside, so the speaker moves less. So whatever this box is tuned to, it will hit harder at that frequency, but it can play all kinds of frequencies. You just have to put more power to it. This particular prefab box have a specific tuning. Some of them might be tuned, the majority of them are tuned to 40 hertz. This one right here is tuned to 36, but the size play a difference in this particular enclosure. Because of this extended vent, this particular enclosure is commonly 3 cubic foot net, but mine is 2.8 net. So the common misconception is most times when people buy subs, like I said, they tell you it doesn't matter. They go out after listening to subs like this in this enclosure, which can play in this because it takes like a 1.2 or something like that. Playing is fine. They will go out and get a beefier sub after this sub gives out and put it in this enclosure. And what happens is when you put it in this enclosure, because of the displacement is already shrunk down to a 2.8, you put a sub that takes more volume up inside of the box. This box volume goes down and your tuning goes up. So instead of 36 in this particular enclosure I have right here, you might go up to 38. So now you're looking and wondering why I'm losing a lot of that deep bass, why I'm not getting that deep bass. I upgraded from this sub to a bigger sub. I should be getting more deeper bass. You might got louder, but you isn't getting deeper. That's where the custom enclosure comes in play. When you pick subs that require a large enclosure, if you don't do your due diligence and go out and look for a larger enclosure that's prefab, and they have a couple out there, you'll wind up still coming to a box builder to get it built because that particular sub you don't want to burn up, but you put it in this enclosure, there's a possibility it can start burning up. And once you start losing subs and have to go back and keep getting subs, then some people will bash you like they bash Scar, not realizing that you're putting them subs in larger enclosures when they should be in smaller enclosures, some of them. When you go out to your local box builder, he will go and build you the proper enclosure for your sub, counting the displacement and putting it at the frequency that you are desiring based off the genre of music that you listen to. So when you always go out and buy subs and you say that enclosure doesn't matter, that's not true. That enclosure matters. Because the bigger the sub sometimes, and there are subs that can play in smaller enclosures. There are subs that can play in this enclosure right here, as it is. But a lot of times people don't want to spend that money to get that particular sub because it's so high. Some of them subs that take a 1.5, they run like $400 a sub. So when you think about that in perspective, you can look at, okay, well, if I'm gonna spend my money, if I want to keep this box, I should spend that bigger money, because to turn around, you can still spend that same amount of money on a custom enclosure for the sub that you had bought previously, or that you just purchased and then realized that, oh, I can just throw it in any box, and realize it didn't work. So always associate with your local shop or call a custom enclosure builder in your local area and see if he can help you for as building the right box for your subs that you chose. Hope this video helps a lot of people. I'm gonna let at the end of the video play this particular 10 box. This is a 12. I might play this one too in the video, let you hear how it sounds. And if I have time, I might try to find find some subs, or take these subs out and put them in this box and let you hear how they sound in this enclosure. You will see the difference between the upper tone bass and the deeper tone bass. Even though this sub is entry level and it can't really produce that bass, this enclosure is tuned to 35 hertz. It's still going to try to give it enough bass to make it sound rich and deep. So if you want any enclosures from me and you're in a local area, please hit me up. This is John Spann. My number is 706-239-7920. And always listen and be responsible. Like I said, those are my Imani S310s, entry-level subs from the company Imani Audio, which I don't think is in existence anymore. But as you can see, S310s, entry-level. You can look at the magnet on the picture. That's small. But in that enclosure, which is a 3 cubic foot tuned to 35 hertz, the little things were getting down. So if you like that, you're interested in it, please hit me up. Like I said, my number is 706-239-7920. I'm in the Georgia area, Fayetteville, Georgia. If you're interested, please hit me up. And always like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you, and have a great day.